All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me tonight. Appreciate it as always. As per usual, there's a lot to go over tonight. Again, guys, every night that this goes on, or every day that this goes on, there's just going to be a hell of a lot of information to go over. Little Lone Prepper, thank you for the 5x5. Mercedes, Revel, thank you for the 5x5. Nostradamus, WTC, Rhonda, Jeep Girl, Flown Grown, Cat Lady, Fritz, thank you for the 5x5. Nick, Eric, Shorty, Teresa, thank you for 5x5. Waterdew, thank you for the 17 by 76. Angela Wood, Adriana, Beef, Back Country, thank you for joining me, by the way. Uh, Thank you for the 5x5. Sorry. Spotted Fawn, Author, Jeremy, thank you for the 5x5. Great Lake, thank you for the 5x9. Ozark Prepper, VA Recycler, Jay, thank you for the 5x5. Explorer, thank you for the 69 by 69. Simpler Times, thank you for the 5x5. Sergio, Purposeful Prepper, Maggie, Scorpion, thank you for the 8x8. Thank you for the 556 by 762. BG 1968, thank you for the 1762 by, sorry, the 762 by the 762. Trucker, thank you for the 5 by spam. There's no such thing as spam bread. Penny Prepper, Patty, Melissa, Julie, Remy, Maria, thank you for the 5x5. Kalista, Penny Prepper, Matthew, thank you for the 5x5. Prepping Artist, thank you for the 5x5. Jet, thank you for the 308 by 308. Incepticrat, I don't know how to pronounce that, but thank you for the 88 by 81. Appreciate it. The Roaming Prepper, man, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. Thanks. Flatline, thank you for the 5x5. And Anne Marie, thank you for the 5x25. So, guys, like I said before, I hope that some of you know my set schedule is supposed to be Tuesday and Thursday nights, but that's going to jump around on days that I'm working, obviously, right? So if I can't make it on a Thursday night, it's definitely going to be Friday. If my week is full, I'll probably pull the rare Wednesday night, which I'd rather not. I'd rather not do Wednesday nights, but if I have to, I will. Thank you, Descendant. I like my chair too. Apparently, people like breaking my chair's balls, and it has leprosy or AIDS. You choose. It's just one of those things that everybody's like, "What's wrong with your chair?" It has character. That's what my chair has now. William Case, thank you for the 5x5. I am gonna listen. I am looking in the chairs, but looking in the chairs for me is like trying to pick a good pair of underwears. I want to be sure that it's going to be comfortable. All right, so it's gonna take me a while. For example, I'm in the market for TV. It's gonna take me forever to find a good TV because I'm not psychopath that sits there and goes, "Well, what's the specs on this TV set? What about that one?" Then I start asking a million and one fucking questions. I hate having too many choices. I really do, especially when it comes to like eating. What I'm gonna have, like by myself, it's even a fucking task. I'm like, what am I gonna have tonight? Do I want Cuban sandwiches or do I want chicken and broccoli? You know, and then there I start analyzing why I should have a Cuban sandwich. Stupid. It's a very, very stupid thing. Also, guys, Roaming Prepper did donate, but Roaming Prepper has a very good channel. His channel is a logical channel. You should definitely visit. The link is in the chat. I like listening to him. Pinball. I like to listen to the older guys that are not as aggressive as I am, though both Pinball and the Roaming Prepper can be aggressive when need be, but they're not as like assholish as I'm. You know, are you going to go to church on Wednesday night? No. What is it going to church on Wednesday night? I'm not going by anybody's church on Wednesday night. Why is that? Anyway, don't know why I was reading that. I gotta stay out of the chat. I'm gonna try my best tonight, guys. I am not. I'm gonna try my best to stay out of the chat. We'll see how this goes. But sometimes you guys ask good questions. Sometimes you guys make interesting statements. So that's why I'm in the chat. But I'm going to try. Thank you for the AR-15 by AR-15. As you guys know, there was another incident, if you will, in Maine. The timing of that is impeccable. They were talking about they were bringing up the whole firearms thing again, and then this happened. I don't know, man. I don't know if I don't know if they think we're stupid or they just. I mean, listen, there is definitely a portion of people that are stupid or will believe anything they're told by the government. So I guess it's not geared towards us because we are, believe it or not, guys, a small population of people that looks at things the other way. There are people that take shit for face value as to what they read online, and then there are other people like us who are looking at shit and raising an eyebrow, like I don't think so, right? Like the whole Putin having a heart attack, a cardiac arrest. Of course, there are articles coming out now saying that he didn't have it, according to the Russian state media and Russian government. Meanwhile, I hadn't seen anything on him recently or any speeches recently, and I looked again to make sure. I didn't see anything recently. So I don't know, man. I mean, like, I take what they say with a grain of salt. All right. But and listen, he probably didn't have a heart attack, but I trust the Russian government about as much as I trust the United States government. All right. Anyway, Captain Apana, you guys in these weird names. I shit you not. Some of the names I see are just straight up and down weird, and I would like to know the meaning behind these names, but I'm not going to ask. Anyway, yeah, you definitely got to be careful of the Kool-Aid because I go back to the on ticket. So many people believed in that. So many people were like, "Oh man, you know, it's gonna save lives. It's gonna protect us." Then people believe that shit. There are people to this day that still believe it. In fact, I was speaking to Alexandra the Great. She was talking about her friend. If I'm not mistaken, was her friend who was hyped up about taking the new on ticket. Like all like jazzed up and shit. Like, yeah, I can't wait for it to come out so I can protect myself and my family. There are morons out there that still believe they're protecting themselves and their family. How I know we are headed to Stupidville, and we're definitely going to head to Stupid Nation if we're not already there. But the fact that people keep believing in the shit that's not even true, it's out of control. Maggie, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. Comfy. She goes, pick out a nice blanket to put on your chair. That's also a good idea. Thank you for that. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. But anyway, guys, so with that being said, everything that I've read, right, everything that I've researched, whether it's my channel, Prepper Now, for example, who has a great channel on updating people on this, um, you just got to be careful of what we are reading and what you're hearing. Even from here, whatever I read, guys, you still got to do your research behind it and see how close to true it is or not true, or read between the lines. More importantly, I think we should be reading between the lines. And no, this chair is not cowhide. I think this chair is pleather. But enough of the AIDS chair, please. Let's move on. So anyway, guys, let's start out with the stage is set. The invasion in Gaza is on right now as we speak. Iran made a threat earlier today stating that if Israel goes into Gaza, the shit is on. So I'm expecting to wake up tomorrow morning and either be glowing in the dark or hear some fucked up shit that went down over on the other side of the ocean. So we shall wait and see. So of course, guys, Israel begins ground operation in Gaza, according to the IDF. It is reported that artillery training has begun currently, and the sector has completely lost internet and mobile communications. So, reading between the lines on that, I think they're jamming a lot of the communication there in Gaza right now as they are attacking. So there is a ground incursion going on. We have to wait and see, I guess, by the hour or a couple of hours, because we're a couple hours behind. We got to wait and see what reports are starting to come out of there. By the way, I did see, I don't know how to share this. I don't know if I could share this, but there was a QRF code. Maybe I can't share it. I got to find it again. And there were pictures and videos of what were done to the people in Israel. Now, when I was watching these videos, there was a side of me that was sitting there going, could this be doctored in any way? The other side of me was like, but this is Hamas we're talking about. So again, there was a lot of egregious stuff they've done. But again, I tell people, this is what war looks like, and this is what savages do in war. You can't look at some of the things they do and go, look at Hamas being savages. That's what war is. They did the same shit in Vietnam. I mean, a lot of the Vietnam military or Vietnamese military or grunts or whoever they were complete savages to some of the guys, some of the troops, right? Cutting their cutting off Mr. Winky and separating it from them, or just gutting them while they were alive, right? Some people will argue with you that a lot of that was made up, but then you talk to vets who said they saw troops that were gutted. So again, savagery is a part of war, guys. You can't split the two. There is no such thing as a clean war. It just isn't. You got people on Palestine or Gaza or Hamas spreading their propaganda. There was a picture with Hamas, or Hamas was pushing, where the same girl was rescued 3 separate times in 3 separate locations. Talk about a photo shoot, huh? Anyway, they didn't think anybody was going to catch on to it. But when you look at the picture of the girl and you get a clean shot of her, it's the same exact girl in 3 different pictures. The guy looked the same too, but I couldn't tell. Sometimes Muslim dudes look alike. Like, as racist as that sounds, I don't give a fuck. Nonetheless, they staged their shit, and I think that Palestine stages a lot of their shit as well. Someone says, if I send you a donation, would you get a blanket for the chair? I'll get something for the chair. Listen, guys, putting a blanket on this chair is almost old lady like. What am I going to do? Get a knitted, what you call it, for the chair? I think a lot of people like looking at the chair and commenting on it. It just gives them something to complain about. It's fine. The chair needs some lotion. Yes, this chair is ashy. That's exactly what its skin's falling off. Anyway, guys, the U.S. is preparing for battle with Iran. According to the Inner Circle, the reasons for delay of Israel ground operation was to have the United States come up with a contingency plan for the Middle East and nearby, meaning staging a lot more troops and vehicles in the region in case Iran gets involved. The United States just last week said they weren't going to engage. Now they're saying they're going to engage. They are engaging as we speak. And now Iran, who threw that threat out there, I'm going to get to the specifics of the threat they made a little later on. Nonetheless, guys, we are engaged in this war. We're in. It is what it is. For example, they have 3 refueling planes at an Air Force base rather in the Middle East, this is refueling planes that they bought in. Now, refueling planes, if I'm not mistaken, those are the planes that refuel the jets and shit that are as they're flying. So with that, guys, is the Air Force also ready to get involved? They have to be if they bought in refueling planes, unless they're going to be refueling the Israeli Air Force. Who fucking knows? So, news. Attempted infiltration by Hamas from the sea to the, Zakim Beach. Reported that 3 people and 8 are 2 different numbers. Saying 6 to 8, that's about right. 3 to 8 who have been eliminated. So apparently the 8 terrorists that were trying to take Israel by beach, I don't know if they were reenacting Normandy, who knows. Nonetheless, they were all killed. The event has not yet ended, and the residents of the settlements of Zakim and or Karmia, were asked to shut themselves in their homes. Now, interestingly enough, there was in that picture in the QRF code, where they have pictures of what happened to the people in Israel. They also have a video that's probably about maybe 2-3 minutes long, and apparently some of the IDF responded off duty. There was a picture of a female laying face down who was in gear, partial gear. So she had her home shorts on, her t-shirt, but she had her battle gear on with the what the hell is that called? Not the mag carrier, sorry. And she had a ballistic helmet on. and then there was a rifle laying next to her. So she tried to engage, but apparently she didn't make that battle. But she was also in her home, which I found to be very, very interesting. So people or IDF soldiers did try to engage. There were a lot of them that were killed. So when you look at the stats on IDF soldiers killed, I'm like, when were they getting killed? And then you look at this video, you're like, holy shit, a lot of them were killed. And in fact, there were a lot of hostages that were assassinated. There's a video. Now, again, guys, I look at this video. One side of me wants to believe it. The other side of me is being very skeptical because I don't want to be all in. But I'm just telling you what I saw in the videos. That's it. It was. I mean, was it a plate carrier? Because it didn't have. It didn't have a slot for a plate. It only had a slot for her ammo, her mags. Right? Unless that's still called a plate carrier. I don't know the terms, guys. I'm not military, and I do have plate carriers, but it actually carries a plate. This didn't. It just had a band for her mags. Unless it could be converted into a plate carrier, then so. But anyway, moving right along. Let's see where we are. So, I guess it's the United States Air Force tanker. I don't know what this means. Dragging F-16 fighters to the Middle East for possible major escalation with Iran. So it's the NUSAF tankers dragging F-16 fighters, to the Middle East for possible major escalation. Guys, this is undoubtedly going to escalate by tomorrow. Undoubtedly. Chest rig. Thank you, guys. Chest rig. That's what it was. If only mags. Thank you. You guys are very resourceful, man. I can fucking ask you guys a question, and it's like everybody has the same answer. It's almost like not Jeopardy, but what's the other game where everybody answers the same way, and then the person goes, "Okay, I believe that answer." Heat rig? Never heard of that. Carrier? I don't know what a heat rig is. And it's called a chest rig. Thank you, guys. No, she roaming prepper. She definitely didn't have time to get her armor. She had it on and she had a helmet on, but she was already face down on the floor. Right? So and in those videos and pictures, there was a few that they left out. Because I've heard rumors of other pictures of women who were sexually assaulted and dealt with in a certain way. And those videos and pictures didn't make it. So again, those are videos and pictures you don't want to see. Because listen, if Putin is looking at these pictures on a daily basis, if I saw those pictures on a daily basis, and I was not Putin, sorry, Benjamin Netanyahu, when I saw those pictures, I'd be pissed off too. But again, guys, you're dealing with savages, right? And you're dealing with war, and you're dealing with something that you should have seen coming from a million miles away. Road Warrior, I had it from a long time ago. I don't. Someone says I can't, but being that I'm a city worker, that I can. So I don't know what I mean. I don't have it with me right now, but it. Even if I couldn't, I don't give a fuck. I mean, seriously, I bought it a while back when I went to Blackwater training, and they suggested that you wear one, and I had bought one. I bought one. It wasn't expensive. It was used actually. So, but yeah, I'm not sure if I can, whatever. I'm not worried about it. But it's also not in the house either. So even if I don't have, if I can't have it, sorry, then whatever. Good luck fucking finding it. And it wasn't a bandolier. No, Teddy Roosevelt, it wasn't a bandolier. It was a chest rig. It was an over-the-shoulder magazine holder. Yeah, I guess you want to put it that way. Johnny Throwaway said the GoPro videos from Hamas. Yeah, the GoPro videos from them are wild. But again, I take issue with a lot of this shit that was done because I'm like, yo, how the fuck did Israel let this happen? Like, seriously, an article in the Wall Street Journal was telling them that this was going to happen. Egypt warned them about this happening. IDF soldiers took forever to respond to certain areas. It just, and their wall that the bulldozer went through Why wasn't anybody there protecting that wall or taking out that bulldozer? Like, there's so many questions, man. It just doesn't make sense. You can't. Stephen Gow says you can't possess it, but you can't buy it. Roger that. Thank you. All right, next on, the U.S. Central Command Air Force now includes three F-16 squadrons, two A-10 squadrons, and F-15E squadrons, and a F-15E squadrons, in addition to tools intended for strategic strike, air train, don't know what that means, intelligence gathering, and area refueling, such as the KC-135 aircraft that arrived yesterday, that everybody was focused on yesterday when it happened, because they're like, why are these refueling planes here? And everybody's putting two and two together. Then Iran is running their bullshit, their mouth rather, and everybody's like, all right, this is going to escalate. So, like I said, by tomorrow, guys, we should see some major escalations. Not any light bullshit, not any lighthearted bantering. We should see some major escalations. If we don't, my conspiracy theory brain's going to start kicking in, because I think a lot of this, again, guys, there's a small part of me that thinks a lot of this is just posturing to make it look good, because they want the WEF to finally come in and start dropping the hammer on control over people by saying, join us for this one world government so that we could bring everybody in a safe place. Because there's a side of me that knows the WEF was willing to sacrifice millions of people to get their one world government. But that's my conspiracy theory brain working in overdrive, thinking like that. What's going on, McBean? Thank you for joining us tonight. The Ghazians are in hysteria. Everything is dark. There is no communication. There is no electricity. Particularly powerful attacks all over the strip for the last hour and a half, or over a half an hour, straight. And this is according to one Ghazian journalist. Israel has entered a new phase in the campaign. Washington, D.C. update. We reduced activity at our military bases in Kuwait after threats of an attack were received. So now they're attacking more bases, obviously, in other Muslim countries. Washington is aware of the threat made by the True Promise Brigade. Never heard of them. By the True Promise Brigade against military base in Kuwait. So this is a new militia or militant or terrorist group in Kuwait. True Promise Brigades. Never heard of them. Anyway, update. Iran announces an unusual and large-scale military exercise next week, mobilizing air, ground, and naval forces throughout the country. Iran announced the plans for a large-scale military exercise beginning next week, Monday. Again, mobilizing air, ground, naval forces across the country. Like I said, guys, this should be very interesting. I am getting excited every day that goes by, because I'm like, it's going to happen. The fucking hammer's going to drop, and I think it's going to scare the shit out of a lot of people when it does. Briefing. The IDF spokesman revealed during a briefing to the international media a great deal of intelligence information from the Shin Bet and the IDF. I don't know who the Shin Bet is, so if someone can give me a brief description, please do. True Promise Brigade. I've never heard of him. Am I missing something? That sounded almost gay. Almost, not quite, but it was there. All right. So let's go. Central terrorist headquarters of Hamas is located under a central hospital in Gaza. We all know that. The name of the hospital is Shifa, the Shifqa Hospital. As part of a special briefing for the international media, the IDF spokesperson revealed a great deal of information, providing that Hamas routinely and in an emergency uses humanitarian infrastructures in the Gaza Strip for the benefit of its terrorist organization and or activities, while utilizing humanitarian shelter to protect its terrorists and its leaders and terrorist organization. The focus of the organization activity in Gaza Strip is in the Shifqa Hospital. Pretty sure I said that wrong. The central and largest hospital in the Gaza Strip, located at the heart of Gaza City. In this hospital, there are several underground complexes used by the leaders of a terrorist organization, Hamas, to direct their activities and tunnels that reaches the hospitals and allow entrances to Hamas headquarters without going through the hospital underneath. I mean, in addition, inside the hospital there is Hamas Internal Security Control Center, which is widely staffed with armed men in routine and emergency situations, and a terrorist headquarters is located from which terrorists targeting rockets, directing force, storing IMDs, weapons, and munitions is carried out. The hospital has the hospital has 1,500 beds and about 4,000 staff members who are human shields for the leaders of Hamas terrorist organization. That's probably why they're going in on the ground now. The hospital's energy infrastructure that's supposed to be used by its patient is actually being used at the same time by the organization's underground terrorist infrastructure and the organization's leaders. The leaders of the terrorist organization used this cover while endangering civilian population. At the same time, Hamas has now controlled the existing energy source in the strip and chose to divert them to its needs at the expense of the needs of the civilian population. So you guys get it. You guys get what's going on. Hamas is just using people as human shields. That's the gist of it. Update. Israeli army is moving towards Biet Huan. Sorry. Or is it Bet? Biait. I think it's Biait. Biat Huan, northern Gaza Strip, advancing from 3 directions. There are unconfirmed reports that the Israeli army has already lost 1 tank. Not saying there's any casualties, just they lost 1 tank. Update. South Korea, U.S. hold large... Guys, I'm telling you right now, these large-scale drills are not a good sign. Like, at all. Like, not even by a long shot. Anyway, South Korea and the United States have held large-scale combination military exercises to hone response capabilities against North Korea's long-range artillery threats, officials said Friday. The 3-day drill involving more than 5,400 South Korean and U.S. troops and some 300 artillery pieces began Wednesday across the country amid renewed attention on Seoul's readiness against possible North Korean artillery shelling in the wake of the Israeli attack. Yo, that's what, 2 problems right now. Also, Pakistan and India are getting into it. Yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, there were reports of gunfire going on at the Pakistani border. Sorry. So India and Pakistan are seemingly getting into it. India and China were about to get into it, but there was some kind of talks between China and India. But now Pakistan and India are getting into it. Who the fuck knows? According to Joe Biden, he is casting doubts on the casualty figure provided by the Palestinian officials in Gaza. But, listen to this bullshit. The International Humanitarian Agency considered them broadly accurate and historically reliable. The international humanitarian agencies are saying that Palestinians' numbers of people not making it are historically correct and reliable. Hey, whatever. The United Nations has condemned the collective punishment and humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza Strip caused by the continuing bombing of the Israeli Air Force. This is the United Nations. Now, keep in mind, guys, the United Nations saw the photos of the people that were, killed. And granted, listen, there's something to be said about protecting yourselves. There's an entirely different ball game with continuing to bombing the shit out of people, and now that you're killing innocent civilians. But the other side of that coin is, how do we know they're really killing innocent civilians? That is the other side of that coin. They could be telling us anything. Both sides can be lying. Just keep that in mind. Let's see. Where the fuck are we? The United Nations confirmed death toll announced by the Gaza Ministry of Health. The death toll from Israeli aggression Gaza Strip attack has risen to 7,326, including X amount of kids. I'm not going to tell you because they're throwing that number of women and kids in there to get you emotional. They're like, oh, God, the kids are being. So I'm not reading off the kids' number anymore. Just know that 70,326 kids, people were killed. Sorry. Also, guys, do me a favor: hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down, whatever floats your boat. If I'm pissing you off today, hit the thumbs down. If you're liking me today, hit the thumbs up. If you're impartial about me, just hit the thumbs up. It works out better in your interest. Plus, it also helps with the algorithm and all other bullshit, all that fancy bullshit they like to tell us because they fucking lie. All right, Iran's foreign minister Abu Dhabi states if the situation continues and women and children and civilians are still killed in Gaza and the West Bank, anything will be possible or anything is possible. The Iranian foreign minister says groups allied with Iran are prepared to strike if Israel's war against Hamas continues. Israel's war against Hamas continues, not Israel's war against Gaza or Palestinian people, Hamas. Iranian foreign minister is more curious about Hamas or more interested in Hamas dying than the actual people. Whatever. Let's see. Sources from Al Jazeera. Negotiations between Hamas and Israel, mediated by Qatar, are advancing rapidly to agree on a ceasefire and finalize a prisoner exchange deal. We can expect the military operations will definitely start after the release of the hostages, but likely under the conditions of a safe corridor of civilians in the Gaza Strip. Now, if they got their hostages back, Israel said they would stop. Interestingly enough, guys, if Hamas is not giving, so Hamas doesn't trust Israel. That's what it's coming down to. They don't trust Israel, I guess. Israel doesn't trust Hamas, I guess. But Hamas thinks that if they give up all of their people or hostages or chips, if you will, that Israel's going to go full scorch on the Gaza Strip, which they might. They might. Or they might not. They might live up to their word. They might be like, you know what, we got our hostages back. Let's be easy. Let's quit this shit now and let everything start to settle. They could do that. News. The IDF spokesman. The extended operation taking place in Gaza are not an official ground invasion. So this was recorded around 3:38 in the afternoon. So that was a little old. British Foreign Minister, Israel is expanding the military campaign against Hamas. We support Israel's right to defend itself and continue to act to protect Palestinian citizens. I know that the United States is giving aid to people in Gaza, so that's a good thing, I guess. Now, I found this to be very interesting. When I saw this article, I was like, no way is this true. This is not remotely true. I think this is a lie. It wasn't a lie. But Harvard has established a task force to help Hamas supporting students who are having a hard time finding lucrative employments due to their support for the genocide of world Jews. Jewish students who have been under attack are not being protected. Just to throw that out there. All right. So Harvard creates a task force to help students facing backlash after blaming Israel for Hamas atrocities. Harvard University plans to establish a task force to assist students whose names were publicized after signing a public letter exclusively blaming Israel for the atrocities of October 7th massacre. Beginning November 3rd, the task force will offer services to students impacted by the fallout from affixing their names to a controversial statement, including guidance on how to handle online harassment and how to mute bothersome social media accounts. This is from Harvard. So instead of Harvard, and like I said, getting rid of them is not the idea. You have free speech, guys. You can say whatever you want. Free speech works both ways. You cannot have free speech, and then when people make statements you don't like, you want them kicked off, outed. That is not how it works. That's not how it should be. If people want to support Hamas, they want to support Palestine, let them support it. That is their God-given right. There's a God-given right to give out their stupid opinions. That is what we do in this country. We give and say stupid shit all the times on both sides. You cannot all of a sudden now go, oh, we got to quiet them down. That is not how we operate. That is not how the First Amendment works. Right, guys? That is not how free speech works. We shouldn't have these people getting in trouble. Rather, that's what I mean to say. Sorry. But there are consequences for those actions. Now, if a private business doesn't want to hire them, that's entirely understandable, and I get that. But should the school handle it and such? No, the school should not handle it and such. The school should just let them be, let them learn their lessons. If a law firm doesn't want to hire them because they were twats for signing that letter, so fucking be it. It is what it is. Anyway, we are truly grateful for all the tremendous work that students have put forth in supporting each other through this most difficult time, and we appreciate the collaborative spirits in which students, faculty, and staff have come together to repel the repugnant assaults on our community. I don't know how that's working out for them. On the day Hamas' surprise invasion, which was led to the death of over 1,000 Israeli civilians, many of whom were tortured, executed, and beheaded, the college's undergraduate Palestinian Solidarity Group published a statement holding the Israeli regime entirely responsible for all of the unfolding violence. Listen, guys, I think a lot of people want to, like I said before, they want to be angry, they want to be mad for no apparent reason. Listen, this is not my fight. I can fucking all but care less what's going on over there. I really don't care. These people are going to be fighting for it and about it for a very, very, very long time. There's nothing we can do about it. We're not going to kumbaya this shit. No one's going to all of a sudden start forgiving one another. Could there be peace? Yes. Is it an easy thing to sort out? Yes. Do they want to? No. They want to continuously be dicks about it. That's on them. But for people in this country taking side with either side, I don't get it. It's like people want to support Palestine because they feel bad for Palestine. I don't know why they feel bad for Palestine. Why would you feel bad for Palestine when in that region is like, I don't know, insanely high in Muslims, and there are other religions in that region, believe it or not just Muslim, but it's predominantly Muslims. And a lot of places that are predominantly Muslim treat their people like shit, especially when you let Hamas, Hezbollah, ISIS, Taliban go after it. But anyway, this is just here in the United States. If you want to support it, support it. But that doesn't mean you attack other people. That doesn't mean you start ripping down the missing photos of people. There are a lot of people ripping those down all over the world, guys. I thought when I saw a picture of a lady ripping down a missing people were still missing from the October 7th attack. I thought these were people in England because that's where I originally saw those posts where people were ripping those signs down. This shit's here in the United States and all over the world. UK, France, Australia, or New Zealand, I can't remember which one. People are ripping down these signs of missing people and go, these people don't deserve to be noticed. At least that was one person's reaction to it or statement they made to it. And I'm like, well, why does it bother you? Why are you supporting a group of people that in a heartbeat will kill you? In a heartbeat will turn you around because you're not accepted to that country? I don't understand. So, guys, Stupidville, next stop, fucking stupid city. And maybe stupid state. Because stupidity is fucking roaring. Because these people do not understand how Hamas, Hezbollah, and ISIS work. They do not understand that even the Palestinian people are not going to accept gay lifestyle. Your pink hair. Maybe even your white skin. They're not going to accept you. You can fucking Allahu Akbar all you want. I don't understand why you would support people who are not going to support you and who are actively going to go out of their way to kill you. That's what I don't understand. Again, that would be like me supporting the KKKs. Yeah, man, do it up. Hang more niggas. I'll be your first. Like, I don't understand that thinking. Nonetheless, these people are doing it because free speech. So anyway, guys, moving forward, and I keep messing this up. The Houthis in Yemen are threatening the Israeli Red Sea resort city of Eilat. Saudi, Egyptians, U.S. and Australian air defense system will be on alert. So I guess the Saudis and Egyptians are also getting involved in that fight. So, contrary to reports, guys, this is an update. The IDF spokesman for foreign media did not comment on the nature of the ground operation tonight. In an interview with ABC News, the report has since been removed from the channel page. Namely, that is possible the real beginning of the ground maneuver. So now the ground incursion has occurred. These are updates, if you will, from earlier in the day. As when they said it started, it didn't start yet, but now it's officially on. I know it's a little confusing. The IDF is advancing towards Bayit Hon from 3 different directions. We went over that. Israel is launching a ground incursion from the north. Thousands of Israeli troops are said to have entered the strip within the recent hours. Also, an update real quick. There's was a giant protest in Grand Central Station. It was a ceasefire protest. So with that being said, they are clogging up Grand Central Station with their bullshit. So people who want to get on the trains have to show their tickets to get into the platform of the train. So this was going on about an hour ago. I don't know if it's still going on. I really don't care because I don't take that train. It's not my fucking problem. But yeah, these protest guys are getting out of control. There was a again, just reading a message. But there was a protest, or rather a bunch of Palestinians beating up a Jewish guy. He looked like a reporter. Listen, when people film these things, I don't care what side, not that I don't care, but what side you film it on, your one job is, if you're a bystander watching some shit going down, film it correctly so that we can see the entire scene. This shit, like people filming and the camera falling out of their hand and you're only looking at the ground, like, yo, be a professional cameraman at that moment and film correctly. Because I couldn't tell who the hell it was getting beat up. They said it was an older guy, but he looked like a younger dude who was supposedly reporting the protest, and I forgot where this was, and they kicked the shit out of him. You're seeing a lot of protests turn violent fast. And it's always the Palestinians, it's always the Muslims, and they just don't like when anybody talks back to them. So anybody sits there in the protest and starts giving them shit, their first reaction is to pummel you. That's their first reaction, instead of just talking shit. Now, November 4th, which is next week, I think, next Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday, that's going to be a shit show. And it's going to be one of the largest pro-Palestinian protests that we've seen. I know that they had one in London and it was like 1,000 people there or 1,100 people there. We might see something bigger at Washington, D.C., November 4th. Big Chap, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. So that should be a fun time. That should be a shit show and a fun time all at once. So obviously, yes, I will be there. No, I will not have a ballistic helmet on or anything like that. I'm going to report as much as I possibly can. I'm hoping not to get involved in any level, but if I have to, then it'll go down that way. But I'm hoping just to fucking sit on the sidelines and just show you guys what's going on. And the other thing with that too is that if everybody's live streaming might be hard to do. So if worst case scenario, if I can't live stream, I will film it and then show it when I get back home. Worst case scenario. The shoestring prepper. Did I say 1,100? I meant 100,000. Thank you for bringing that up. It was 100,000 in London, guys. 100,000 in London, not 1,100. What was I thinking? Why did I say 1,100? Yes, but it was 100,000. That was a lot. We might see about that much, if not a little more, in the DC. because a lot of people are going down there. They're calling out, like, they're pulling out all the stops for that one. And I don't understand, because none of these protest guys are going to none of these protests are going to stop what's going on. Again, Benjamin Netanyahu is not looking on Twitter and looking at the protesters and going, "Go guys, they're protesting in D.C. I think we should cease fire." There is not one side of any of these people that's going to look at the protest at Grand Central Station and go, "Guys, they're stopping trains from running. I think we should cease fire." They don't give a fuck. It is part of their plan. It's always been a part of their plan. To sit there and believe for 1 second that our protest is going to stop anything, it was like all the idiots that were protesting the Vietnam War. Did that stop anything? Nope. We waste our time protesting on these matters that do nothing for us. People make these stupid, obnoxious signs. They hold them up to the camera, and these people believe that their sign is going to stop the war. You are a complete and utter moron if you think these protesters are going to stop anything. Right? And that's the crazy shit about it. I don't understand. I don't understand why people think that these protests are going to stop anything. It really isn't. Anyway, guys. So it should be a fun time. The whole DC trip should be a fun time. I'll get there in the morning and try to scope out what I can scope out before shit gets fucking out of control. You big dummies fell into an FBI trap. Chuck Norris Gun Club says, "You big dummies fell into the FBI trap." Listen, I don't think that was an FBI trap, but who knows? Mrs. Price said, "Dallas tomorrow, 10,000 at 1:30 p.m. in Dallas." That should be interesting. And that's the other thing too, guys, with these protests. A lot of these people seem to believe that protesting for Palestinians, for example, that's the side of history that they want to be on, because everybody looked at history, and I think this has a lot to do with the black movement, the civil rights movement, if you will. And a lot of people are like, "Well, if I was there, I would have helped out." I hate when people tell me that shit, especially white folks, and they're like, "If I was around, I would have helped you guys out." The fuck you would. That's such a crock of shit. But anyway. And so people feel like because they missed out on the civil rights movement, and they missed out on a movement that actually changed the world for the better, that if they take part in these BLM movements or pro-Palestinian movement, that they're on the right side of history, when they are asininely wrong. You are ultimately helping a terrorist organization get their message across. That's ultimately what you're doing. And I'm not saying that, you should automatically jump on the Jews' side either. I'm just saying that pro-Palestinian, for a lot of people, looks like pro-Hamas. So you got to be careful as to who you back off. Cat girl. So no, the pleather rubs off. If I was to sit in this on my shorts, I would have fucking pleather all over my fucking back of my legs. The shit comes off so easily now. It's like, it's fucking insane. It's almost like confetti. And I make the wrong move and like a large chunk comes. This chair is sad. This chair right now is crying as we speak. Please kill me because its skin's coming off. It's the AIDS chair. That's all it is. Anyway, guys, moving right along. So, Commander-in-Chief of Iran's Revolutionary Guard, Hussein Salami, I'm pretty sure I said that wrong, but let's go with Salami. If the Israeli army launches a ground attack in Gaza, they'll be buried there. That's a strong threat, man. That is by far the strongest threat I have read all week, actually. If the Israeli army launches a ground attack in Gaza, they will be buried there. The Islamic world will not stand idly by in the face of crime of the Israeli army. Now, the Israeli army is, Ryan, thank you for the donation. They are in Gaza right now. Again, guys, we should be waking up to a escalated situation tomorrow morning, if not in a few hours. News. 2 U.S. fighter jets struck weapons and ammunition facilities in Syria last night in retaliation for attack on U.S. forces by Iranian-backed militia. Biden ordered a strike on 2 facilities used by Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, and militia group that it backs. We are 1,000% totally engaged in this. But yeah, to say that we're not, that's out the window. We are wholeheartedly 1,000% engaged. So from Al Jazeera, this is an update. Negotiations are progressing rapidly to achieve ceasefire agreement and exchange deal for Hamas and Israel, mediated by Qatar. So Qatar is also mediating a ceasefire. They're also mediating hostage exchange, or not so much hostage exchange, but receiving their hostages back. Now, I think Hamas, it hasn't been reported, but I think Hamas is asking for their soldiers back because there were numerous soldiers that were captured alive and have been interrogated because some of their interrogation videos are out there. So they're probably asking for them back. And I can see Israel saying no. But at this point, if you want the kids and the women to go back home, unfortunately, you have to give those troops back. There is no way around it. This isn't a game of chess. This is a game, this is people's lives. And if you want these women and kids back, who are supposedly still alive, you have to give the troops back. Simple. And then after you give them back, bomb the shit out of them once they get back to where they are. But that's just me. So yeah, Qatar told the United States it's open to reconsider presence of Hamas on its territory. Qatar told the United States it is open to reconsidering presence of Hamas on its territory. So now Qatar would have Hamas in their area. That's not good. I don't understand. I don't understand how the people of these areas are okay with a group like Hamas, who has done nothing but terrorize their own people. They're not freedom fighters by any stretch of the imagination. I've seen videos of Hamas doing some horrendous shit to their own people. Why do people think this is cool? Why do they think it's safe? And then other countries are letting them in and letting them fucking act a fool. It's mind-boggling. The chair fund. I shall have a, what is that called? A telethon for my chair. Please support my chair. My chair name is Gerald, and he has AIDS. Could you please help him cure his AIDS or get a new Gerald? I don't, listen, it's a chair, guys. I'm not worried about it. I'm really not. It's serving its function. It's still comfortable, believe it or not. I can still pass out in this chair. Big Chap, thank you for the camo blanket for the chair. Thank you for the donations. I appreciate it. So at the very least, I have to get a blanket, I guess. Put something over my AIDS chair so people stop. Leave him alone. Leave my chair alone. All right, guys. So what I'm expecting tomorrow, like I said before, I'll say it again, is major escalation. I am following it on a bunch of Telegram sites, so I'm following this incursion really closely to see where this goes and how bad this is going to get. I think this is going to get astonishingly bad. I'm not surprised at how bad. I didn't mean to say astonishing. I'm not surprised at how bad this is going to get. You know, I'm going to be surprised if it doesn't get to nuclear level, whether that's a small tactical nuke or an all-out fuck you nuke. I wouldn't be surprised either way. I would be floored if there's a ceasefire and peace in the Middle East. I would be completely and utterly floored if that happened. But if this continues to escalate, I'm not surprised one bit, man. But there's a used chair available up in Maine. No Halloween celebration. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't celebrate Halloween. I don't anymore, just because one, I'm too old. I never got the allure of a Halloween party. Come dressed up in, I don't know why people still do it. Like grown adults. Don't get me wrong. You know, like when I used to live downtown. When I mean downtown, I was talking about further downtown, like around the Village area. When you saw women dressed up in, like, you know, their Halloween best, you were like, all right. But, you know, as an adult, going to a Halloween party, I don't get it. I really don't get it. You know, if you're going to a Halloween party that has a contest, all right, maybe. You win an Amazon gift card or $100, okay. But I've never been that guy to be like, yo, we got to go to this Halloween party. Or what are you going to be for Halloween? People ask me that to this day. I'm like, what are you, retarded? I'm not 3 years old. I don't need a costume. It's dumb. But there's some people who like it. So such is life. But I don't, that is not my thing. Halloween is, other than the kids, which they're too old to do now. I mean, my youngest son, I guess he's going to go trick or treating. But the only benefit to it was the candy. And even then, I don't do that much. I knew that was coming. As soon as I mentioned the chair, I knew this text was coming next. Anyway, so yeah, guys. I mean, if you celebrate Halloween, great. If you don't celebrate Halloween, okay. I don't. Either way, do what you do. Who told you black people don't like mayo? Franny, you talking to me? Because I never said that, unless you're talking to somebody else. I do like mayo, by the way, but I'm also, half Puerto Rican, so there is that. Jason's chair matter. Yeah, JMC. Jason's chair matters. It does. Leave it alone. Yeah, I know that there are a lot of people who are definitely raw food writer. Are we screwed? I don't know. I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no. Unless we get involved to that level where nukes start getting lobbed. I don't think. I mean, that's the only thing I can see. I don't see that. I definitely see something bad happening, and then the noise starts to quiet down. Because the one thing that you can see, guys, I can say is that if a nuke does get launched and it hits somewhere, I can see the noise around the world becoming quiet for at least a few minutes. And then after that, we have to wait and see what happens. I don't think we're going to go to Mad Max level, but I think we're going to see something egregious. Very bad. Or we can see the curveball, a world peace, not world peace, but a ceasefire, which I would be wholeheartedly astonished if we saw that. I don't know. I don't know what to expect anymore. There's so many things going on. Who the fuck knows, right? Again, India and Pakistan are going after it right now. China keeps making threats about Taiwan. China made a new threat about Taiwan just the other day, and I'm like, seriously, dudes? I'm like, this is where we are now. You know, um, let's see if I can find it. If I'm not mistaken, it was a new threat. And I know the Chinese have a election going on right now. Right, so that's what it was 7 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. China is subtly increasing military pressure on Taiwan. I remember reading that earlier today, or earlier yesterday, rather. Sorry, without declaring an invasion. And they are increasing military presence with flyovers and their navy, the Chinese navy around them. So they've been doing that a lot. So again, we have that to worry about, and not that we have to worry about. If China takes over Taiwan, such is fucking life. That was going to happen. That's been in the making for a long time. But the time now would China to make the move now would be this would be the time. Rather, sorry. I think they're waiting for us to wholeheartedly, 100% be engaged into Israel to make that call. But it's definitely coming. If the United States engage, which they will, and I think they're gonna be 1,000% in before the end of next week. China's gonna make a move, and in a week or two from that, maybe three, they're gonna make a move on Taiwan, and then it's on. And then Pakistan and India, I don't understand what's going on there other than the gunfire. I'm not sure if Pakistan's going to invade China or China's going to invade Pakistan. I'm sorry, India's going to invade Pakistan or Pakistan's going to invade India. I don't know which way that's going to go. So we have to wait and see that, but we should also be paying attention to that as well. We got to wait and see where that goes. All right, guys. Anyway, other than that, I'm going to head over to the Angry Truth channel tonight. The Angry Truth channel, guys, we're talking about the draft and what's going to happen if we actually have to go to the draft and look at the draft for people. That's tonight on the Angry Truth. For the rest of you guys, I will see you guys next week. Um, and I should have a Wednesday midweek report next Wednesday as well. And other than that, guys, thank you for dealing with my bullshit. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for the donations. And I will see some of you guys on the Angry Truth channel. Good night.